Avengers Endgame. Wow. Hey everyone, I'm the movie Maniac. All my reviews are typically spoiler free. I came out of this film and I just couldn't imagine any other way to discuss it. So I'm putting out all the warnings. If you follow me on any other social media, you don't have to worry about it. It's only in this video, only here will I discuss spoilers. So this is your final warning. Where to begin? This movie takes a lot of time in setting up the post-Infinity War world. We see that people haven't really adjusted to half of all life forms being eradicated within a snap. People are not adjusting to this new world that they're living in. A better reality is not being created. Everyone seems empty and unable to process the events. The Avengers kill Thanos early on, but don't let that fool you. They will face him again. So while this feels like the end of the picture at the beginning of the movie, it's really not. And by the way in which they do it is so satisfying. It's because this time Thor aims for the head, which is what I wanted from a storytelling point of view. It's set up a little bit in Infinity War, and now we have the payoff. The Russo brothers, who are the filmmakers behind Endgame, make it very clear early on that this is a character-driven film, as it should be. After 21 movies, we need a 3-hour epic to properly give all of these characters the closure that they deserve. It isn't until Ant-Man shows up with an idea that might, just might, piece the universe back together. And it's only when he begins sort of bringing this concept to the other Avengers that we truly see sort of a life restored to them, so to speak. That they become a little bit more energetic and possibly even optimistic. So I had been hoping that time travel would be a plot device used in Avengers Endgame. So I was thrilled to find out that that's exactly what it's there for. A time heist, if you will. I found it fascinating to have Tony Stark withdrawn after all these years. He's with Pepper, he has a daughter, he's withdrawn into this cabin by the lake. He doesn't want anything to do with the Avengers or trying to save people anymore. Completely checked out. And it isn't until Ant-Man introduced what seems like a half-baked idea of using the quantum realm to go back in time, get the stones, that he comes around. But he doesn't at first, though. He rejects it, he thinks it's silly, and then he starts messing around with the idea in private, and then he figures it out. The decision to have Thor be like the dude from The Big Lebowski was kind of hilarious. You know, on paper, it seems like it would be a terrible idea and one that I wouldn't want to see make it to the final product. But in this case, it actually does come through in a way that I felt like it made sense, simply because it shows that these characters aren't perfect. We've seen Hulk struggle throughout these previous installments as well, so to see it come back and affect Thor, as it's affecting many people, this post-Thanos snap world that they're living in, it kind of does make a little bit of sense, and they handle this one in a humorous way. Out of all the recent time travel movies I've seen over the years, this one gets it right. If you have a previous library of movies, go revisit those movies. It's a lot of fun, and they go revisit previous installments, and I'm so satisfied that they go back to the first Avengers. And if they hadn't done that, I'd probably be here telling you that they should have incorporated that film. So I'm just so happy that we got to go and actually get a different perspective on some of the events and some of the things that we may have missed from that film. When Black Widow and Hawkeye were fighting over who would give their life, I thought that was pretty unpredictable. I couldn't tell you who exactly was going to be the one to go. I will say that when Black Widow passed on, and I was sad to see her leave the franchise, I just thought it should have had a little bit more emotion behind it. It should have been sadder. It should have been closer to that one character who left us later in the movie, which I'll get to shortly. Having Tony Stark go back in time and meet his dad was such a delight. It wasn't too cheesy, it wasn't too light, and it wasn't too dramatic. It was just right. The final battle, I'm speechless. Not only in terms of fantastic special effects and scale, but you cheer, you laugh, you cry. Figuring out Captain America is worthy to hold the hammer, oh my god. And then having probably the most triumphant superhero return on screen of all time, watching these dusted characters come back with the music behind it, it really does just bring out such an unbelievable level of energy with the audience. And then there's the death of Tony Stark. I think no matter how prepared you are for this, the film rips you apart. The fact that he will be remembered as the man who saved the universe, you couldn't ask for anything better. And the way Pepper says goodbye to him is so hard to process. It all felt so real, and what she says, it reminds me of when you're putting a loved animal of yours down and some of those final words that you're saying. I mean, I'm emotional talking about it. And, oh man, wow. And it was scary how real it looked. He appears dead. He genuinely looks like he's his final breaths and he's dying. At no point did I think I'm watching an actor who's playing a character that's passing away. This felt 100% real. Probably the most realistic death I've ever seen on screen. There is a happy ending to all of this. After Iron Man's death, we see Captain America go back in time to be with the love of his life, Peggy Carter. The film ends with the two of them dancing and kissing. There's some retro music that comes in behind it. And even though it's a happy ending, it's super emotional and it's perfect. It is literally a perfect ending. 21 films lead up to this. It's the achievement, the cinematic achievement of the decade. This might be the most epic movie ever made. I can't give it enough praise. I'm going to give Avengers Endgame a 9 out of 10. It's a classic. I already know it is. It's going to be remembered in a way that I think that the original Star Wars trilogy was remembered for so many generations. I genuinely mean this. I am blown away that they were able to pull this off, that they were able to basically have this be a movie that goes back through the DNA of 21 films behind it and making it so they all permeate, they all are here. Everything that they've been setting up, it all wraps up and goes into this. It is one of the most impressive achievements in cinema. I'm not exaggerating. You may have wanted certain aspects of this movie to be better. Fine. But the ambition, the work, the achievement, the creativity, the genius behind all of this, I mean, look, I'm almost speechless. I can't wait to go back and visit this movie again. Guys, I'm going to wrap this up. What did you think of Endgame? Tell me in the comments, where are you on this? Punch the subscribe button, give it a like so you can stay inside the mind of a movie maniac.